So here we've got this is one of the tubs. It's got some odds and ends, clutch cable, engine bolts and mounts and that sort of stuff. But it does have the cams, the rusty road race sidecar cams. Look at that. You can see the shed the bike was in that I kind of rescued it from years ago was a dirt floor shed, unfortunately. It was prone to getting pretty wet and the bike had been pulled apart and sort of left to rust away in the shed, unfortunately. The brother-in-law that I got the bike off was just one of those blokes, when he got over something, he got over it, and he just didn't really care. I bought a few cars and bikes, etc. off him over the years, and when he was done with it, he was just done with it. Just washed his hands and walked away, and that's what happened with this. And I ended up, I couldn't leave it sit there, so I'd put a lot into it back in the day, and this is one of the cams I've cleaned up. It can do with some more, obviously, but it actually is back to nearly usable, so I'm kind of thinking I might be able to save. This did actually look, if anything, worse than that other one, so I might be able to save them yet, we'll see. It's got slotted, they've got slotted, I slotted the holes for the cam bolts, I would agree the cam. The cam timing for these cams with the pistons that the drag bike was running, I couldn't have the cam set at the proper mark because it was a little touch close to the pistons, the valve, so I just had to back it off a few degrees until I had enough clearance to be happy with it. And even as it was, I'll show you the pistons in a minute, it was very close, but she saw over 13,000 RPM a few times and never let go. The old stock valves hung on, you know, what can you say? It is what it is. And this is the second tub of parts. You may wonder, I'm actually surprised that they've survived as long as they had. These have been through, I think, 11 different house moves over the last 20 something years. Somehow I've managed to keep it all together in one place, pretty much. It's been interstate, it's been to above Townsville, it's been here, there and everywhere, and it's still all here, surprisingly. These are originally when the brother-in-law had the bike, before he rode it, he bought it off me running 9.6 at 139 mile an hour at the end of the season. So he took it home in the off season and played with it and raked it, did a heap of stuff to it, changed a heap of stuff without riding it. When he went back to ride it, it was slow and it was rattly. He thought I'd sold him a dud basically, but I hadn't. It was quite a good goer, but unfortunately he didn't realise that while he'd had the carbies apart, back in the day, he'd pulled the carbies apart while he had the bike getting it ready to race, and didn't realise in the process, and I never saw it until after, a couple of years after he'd given up on it, that he'd lost the spring out of the accelerator setup in between here, and hadn't noticed. Instead of opening all 4 butterflies at the same time, 3 opened and 1 didn't, which made it obviously rattle and run like a bucket of bolts. So he just pushed it in the shed and left it. So that was basically how it came to be in the shed. Abandoned. In the off season he bought Dyna coils and a 2-step ignition system and put on it. With Dyna pickups. They're all obviously I would have loved to have that when I was racing it. I never had a 2-step or any of that sort of stuff. I had an air shift. That was about it. It was all just wing it. Had a shift light. That was good. But 2-step would have been great for getting consistent launches, which in modified bike was, I just couldn't afford it at the time. Didn't have the money for it, so it didn't happen. They're the cam end caps, the later model ESD, ED cam caps, which I've locked and they're polished up. These are the forged Aries pistons, Aries, however you want to say it. I'm not really sure, to be honest. Quite a large dome on them. They were 13 or 13.5 to 1 from memory. You can see the valves, inlet valves, got quite close to the pistons, but they survived. Exhaust were a little bit better, but yeah, they're still in quite reasonable condition. They're still the original rings that I ran with. They're actually a little bit stuck, a couple of them. They might be right, but I'll just go through and check it all and replace the rings if need be. All 4 pistons are still quite reasonable. So yeah, so that's about it. For what it ran, it was pretty basic really, and most of it was just twiddling and doing what I could that didn't cost much, because I was on a limited budget, a couple of young kids, babies and all that sort of stuff happening. There wasn't much money for playing with drag pots, so I did it as thriftily as I could.